everyone, this is Fazana from Fazana Slow, and in today's video I'll be sharing with you all my top 5 regrets that I had from my GCSE years and what I wish I knew, basically, in a way. So if you're interested to find out and in order to make sure that you can save your grades as well, then please keep watching. Before I start, I would just like to say that subscribe to this channel if you're interested in kind of law school, productivity, self-growth kind of videos, because I post these kind of videos every single week on Wednesday at 3 p.m. in the UK time. So if you want to make sure that you're notified first, then please do subscribe and click the bell icon next to the subscribe button, and you'll be notified straight away whenever I post. And before I begin, I would just like to say one more thing, and that is that I'm so sorry about this lighting. I don't know what happened. I thought the sun was going to come out and I was going to film a very awesome video where my lighting will be perfect, but it did not work out. And the second thing that I would like to mention is that the timestamps for this video are also included in the description box below, so that you can move on to the mistakes without having to, or regrets, without having to really watch the whole thing. But other than that, let's get started with today's video. So the first regret that I want to share with you all is a very personal one, and it's something that I've done and I do not wish upon anyone to do, and that is starting to revise pretty early, like let's say in March or April, because some of us think that we can actually handle that. But unfortunately, the true fact is that just because some of your friends out there can start revising from March onwards doesn't mean that you're going to be the same type of a person. And some of us really have to start from the beginning, like September, October, November. And if you're that kind of a person who really needs their time to actually understand the topics and study and go through the material as many times as possible, then it's not the most wise thing for you to actually start revising from March, because that's going to be way too late. And considering that you have like 10 subjects to do or 10 GCSEs to do, it doesn't really make sense for you to really leave everything in the last minute, especially if you're aiming for something like an 8 or a 9 in your exams. So I would highly encourage for all of us and for you as well, if you're a GCSE student, to actually start from now on to start studying and revising for all of your GCSEs. So the next thing that I want to share with you guys is a regret that I have, and I do not wish again upon anyone. And it's something that I feel like teenagers think is the coolest thing to do, and that is to basically stay up late till like 2 or 3 a.m. thinking that you're studying, but you're actually not. And that is something which is very unproductive, let me tell you, because what happens is that when it hits 12, 1, 2 a.m., that's when your energy levels are slowing down and you won't be able to concentrate anyway. So rather than you staying up late and being unproductive, it is better for you to go to sleep and actually recharge yourself and then wake up in the morning and start studying again. Actually, the best thing for you to do actually is to just go to sleep early and then wake up early, maybe at 6, 5 a.m. and start studying from then on. But what I did during my GCSE time is to think that, yeah, I'm going to stay up late till 3 a.m. and I'm just going to show to everyone around me that I'm actually studying and I'm so hard working. So obviously I'm going to get an A star or a 9 or an 8 or something like that. But that was the biggest misconception in the world. Do not ever sacrifice your sleep for anything in your life, because your health is the most important thing for you. If your health goes wrong, then everything else will go wrong in your life. So please take care of yourself and make sure that you're sleeping enough. I would recommend definitely 8 hours of sleep every single day, no matter even if you have a real exam tomorrow or a mock or any kind of test in your life. Sleep is the most important thing that you should never sacrifice. So the next regret that I want to talk to you all is the fact that I only relied on textbooks for revision purposes or for revising for all of my GCSEs in general, and also relying just on my teachers. And that was something which was very limited in my time when I was doing my GCSEs, and that was in 2015, I believe. And there's not many, online resources for me to rely on except few YouTube videos here and there. And I was very much struggling when I was doing that, and I had to rely upon the teachers so much. But luckily for all of you guys who actually are doing GCSEs now, like in 2020, or maybe are going to be doing in 2021, they have a lot of resources out there to actually rely on and revise from pre-made flashcards to videos to YouTube videos that are very much extensive and detailed. But one course that I came across, and I'm so glad I did, is called From First Rate Tutors, and it's a really good extensive course for those of you who are struggling with English. For example, I remember when I was in 2015 doing my GCSEs, I was very much struggling with the Romeo and Juliet part of the assessment, which was, I think, English literature. And I remember how much I was struggling to really literally understand everything something that was said by my teacher, but I couldn't really complain at the same time. But luckily with this course, if you go through this, you will see that there's so much detailed videos and information that are explained by the professionals and tutors, and it feels like you're literally getting taught by a at-home tutor, literally, about your GCSE, for your English GCSE, because I know that some of us actually do struggle with English because it might not be your first language, or it is something that you're not really comfortable doing. But this course makes sure that you are getting through this every single detail very, very nicely, and as I am showing to you guys all right now. And this course is not to be underestimated at all, because all of the details are provided for you anyway, and all you have to do is just go through each of the videos, see and listen what you understand, what you don't understand. And the best part is you can go back to these videos anytime you want, and especially I would recommend this tip, especially before the exam. So maybe 1 week before your actual GCSE exam, then you go through these videos and see what you're lacking and what you're not lacking. In that way you will exactly know what to revise and not to revise. And there are so many types of videos, as I mentioned before. So there's English language and literature, paper 1, paper 2, for both of those papers at the same time. And I've also done inspector course in 2015 for my GCSEs as well, so there's videos on that as well. And I also think that this course is very portable, as I said, and it is something that you can easily access by just clicking the link in the description box below, and you will get 75% off if you purchase this off very, very easily. I would highly recommend it, and especially if you're somebody who's going through a GCSE, it is a course that is not to be missed. And as I said before, if I was in 2015 right now, or if I was doing my GCSEs right now, I would definitely purchase this online course, because it is going to be very, very helpful. I know it, I just know it, and it is something that I've gone through myself. So I would definitely recommend for any one of you who are actually doing GCSE English this year or even next year. Because let's be honest, we are now in 2020. We are not going to be, just relying on textbooks or just relying on the teacher. We are going to be getting a bit more smarter than we were in 2015, and using as many resources as possible out there on the internet to make sure that we get that 9 or 8. So definitely purchase the course if you haven't not decided yet. So the fourth regret that I want to share with you all today is a very personal one again, and it's something that I am so guilty of doing, and that is the fact that of memorizing information instead of actually studying and revising the information. So if you don't know already, memorization is not the best technique for you to really revise and learn new information and understand new concepts, because all you're doing is just repeating yourself and expecting all the information just to get through your head and memorize it and stay within your head. But that's not how it works. That's not how our brain works. And unfortunately, in my GCSE time, that's what I was relying on, just memorizing the information from different textbooks and expecting that I'm gonna get a 9 or an 8. But that is not how my brain works, and I wish I had somebody telling me this. Otherwise it could have saved a lot of my grades that that got wasted in a way. But I would definitely say that please do not memorize anything unless it's like maybe like definitions here and there, or maybe here and there some quotes for English, for example. If you have any novel based quotes that you have to learn off by heart, that's fine. But if it's like genuine concept and information that is very hard to comprehend and really remember for the longest period of time without you going back to it again, it's gonna be very challenging. So definitely do not memorize and do not attempt memorizing anything for the rest of your life, because that's never gonna happen. And I'm gonna be making a video in the future on how to revise for your GCSEs, but this is just to say that in this video that do not please memorize anything, and that's not the best revision technique out there. And I hope I have made this clear in this video. So the last regret that I have to share with you all is again very important, and I'm speaking to you guys as an older sister, and that is to choose your company very, very wisely and who you hang out with, especially in year 11. And I feel like year 11 is the best year for you to really find out who actually likes you and who does not like you as a friend, because it really shows. Because for example, if you have a test coming up and one of your friends tell you let's go to this park and play or something like that, and they know that you have a test, but they're still encouraging you to really go for that park thing, it kind of shows that they don't really value you and they don't really care about you at all, and they're just caring about the selfish reasons that for them that they want you to go to park and waste your time even though they know that you have a test. So it really shows in this year that who actually values your time and who wants the best for you. So definitely choosing your friends wisely from early on is very, very important. And those who actually respect you, who want you to succeed, they will tell you that, you know what, you have a test tomorrow, you have to revise, you should just go and revise and do your thing. But if it's somebody who is toxic and who does not want you to be successful in life, they will probably tell you opposite thing, which is to hang out with them and waste your time. And guess what, they are probably those kind of people who do not want to, who don't really care about the future, about the education as well. But if you're somebody who's really serious and also want to be polite about it and respectful about it, you can just politely decline their offer. And that's not gonna show that you don't care about them. It's just gonna show that you prioritize yourself over them, and that is very, very important. And there's a very, very important skill to be developed from a young age, how to be able to say no politely. And this is what you learn, and the earlier you learn this skill, the better. And trust me, it will save you a lot of heartache, headache, and grades. This brings me to the end of this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. And what is the one lesson that you learned from this video? Comment down below. And if you're somebody who has already done the GCSEs, what is the one thing that you wish you learned or somebody told you when you was in your GCSEs? Comment down below as well. And other than that, if you're interested in more of these kind of low school productivity, self-growth kind of videos, then please do subscribe to this channel, because I post videos every single Wednesday at 3 p.m. in the UK time. So if you do not want to miss out on any of them, then subscribe, and I'll see you in my next week's video.